The Asia story may be telling us the story of yesterday here in Europe. We're trying to look ahead here on European futures and US futures to the Nvidia numbers. That's such a huge spectacle, I suppose, that hangs over these markets.
Definitely. Anna, good morning. That's what everybody is waiting for. You know, every 3 months I get to come up here and have the privilege of talking to you in the morning. We say, whoa, this is the big one. You know, can they meet those lofty expectations? The market's expecting another blowout. And most of the time they have done, and is continue to accelerate and grow and show those big numbers. Even though if there's been some disappointment, the stock has still roared back again. So, you know, the company just has such a strong impetus behind it. The market will be looking out for, yes, profit, but also just revenue and customer CapEx numbers, what its future earnings growth looks like, and any updates on the new chips that it's developing and those temperature problems that have been discussed in recent days. It matters because it's such a huge weighting in the index, more than 8% of the S&P. It's also that bellwether for the rest of the tech industry and for the AI narrative as well. So a lot riding on it. And it will be pretty decisive for the direction of markets over the rest of this week, most likely.
Is the video going to be more important than the Treasury pick? Give us a sequence.
Well, what I think is really funny, we all like this stat showing that the options market, at least for stocks, is pricing in bigger swings off the Nvidia earnings than it is off the next Fed decision. I think the Treasury pick is going to have bigger global market implications overall, right, Guy? And the market is looking forward to the idea that it could be Kevin Walsh who is successful. He's being seen as a little bit more of a safe hand, a little bit more of a person that would know what the risk of a bond market sell-off looks like and how that could play out. So if we do get confirmation of that, it's likely the market would take it as a positive.
Yeah, meanwhile, Paul, we've seen markets very nervous around geopolitics. It's certainly shifted back onto the agenda, the conflict in Ukraine. We saw yesterday the yen gaining on that front. Today, the yen loses ground on that front, along with a host of other perceived safe havens.
Yeah, I did think that was an interesting reaction, given the yen really hasn't performed very strongly as a haven currency over the past year. But when we saw those news headlines breaking, the first reaction in that panic was for people to buy the yen. I think the yen has a short-term story and a longer-term story playing out here. In the short term, it remains under pressure. The strong dollar is the overriding narrative, but more and more people are looking forward to further yen strength over the year ahead, in particular juxtaposing that against the euro with the idea that the ECB is going to have to cut interest rates quite aggressively and the Japanese central bank will continue to raise interest rates slowly. So euro-yen seems to be one of the favorite trades for the year ahead.